you're ready, get your seatbelts out. Everybody do me a favor and just type news, and we're gonna watch the video, all right, guys? So I have quite a lot to say about this particular instance, especially as somebody who's kind of kept up with a lot of this stuff for a long time.
Yes!
I've been on top of this for quite a while, chat. I think we all have, been tied into this for a long time, and this is just absolutely an insane drop, chat. Hope you guys are ready, guys. Here we go. Let's do it.
It's taken a turn for the worst. That is, today we return to the VTuber agency Nijisanji English, and more specifically, one of their hired talents, that being the Nijisanji English liver, Aster Arcadia.
So this particular video, chat, is going to be directed at Aster. A lot of this stuff is about Aster and allegations that he is a sex pest, chat. That is right. There are allegations here that Aster is a sex pest. This is a very, very serious allegation. So let's continue to watch.
This episode does dive into very serious subjects, and we have kept this episode unmonetized. Our thanks go out to our viewers for any likes and comments on this video, along with sharing it as they see fit, as this is perhaps one of our most important episodes ever. This regarding a number of allegations and accusations against Aster Arcadia, some of which date all the way back to February of 2024. That as at that time, a communication between Aster and another Nijisanji English talent, that being Scarlett Yunaguni, had.
So when this happened, chat, we did briefly talk about it. Now that we have context, I think we understand these messages a little bit more. But there was this weird kind of interaction. Yeah, with Scarlett. So I think he just showed the messages on here. Yeah, by the way, the recent victim is not Scarlett. Again, we're not gonna say who, but if you know who it is. But we did cover this back earlier this year, and that's what I was asking you guys, who's been around since February? Because unfortunately, chat, this is far-reaching with a lot, different talents that have been bothered by Aster's actions. So anyway, let's continue.
It appeared online. This communication at the time not being verified, and this conversation between Aster and Scarlett being very contentious between the two.
We weren't really sure what this was, right, chat? Some people were alleging, oh, it's faked or it's not real. But basically what it boils down to is Scarlett was very much apologizing to Aster over something. Aster goes on to explain, why are you even hurt? I said that whenever we're in voice chat, okay, the attention isn't shifted to whoever joins. Same process happens when the same question is said, how was your guys' date? Someone answers before me and the attention is set on them. Conversation keeps going. I don't want to interrupt. You tell me when I'm too silent. Would you rather me constantly make random noises or cut people off to say something? If you're hurt that I told you that you'll probably forget this, I mean, am I wrong? You told me you forgot what was even said last night. What's definitely not making me feel any more better is the sheer fact you purposely are ignoring me because you don't know what to say. Scarlett goes on to say, Aster, I'm so sorry. I'm just overwhelmed by everything. I'm sorry I hurt you. I might forget everything. I'm just really overwhelmed. I didn't respond right away. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't know what to say. I'm sorry. And Aster says, sigh. Look, my intention isn't even to hurt you. Why would I? My intention is to let you know what has been bothering me, which is the whole voice chat issue and combo attention centering, and the fact that when I'm mid-sentence, I get cut off because someone joins them about the topic is completely forgotten. But even if this is too much for you, then I'll keep my distance in terms of my personal feelings, ask my day, how my day was, or what I'm doing, how I'm feeling, etc. I'll just keep it short and sweet and not elaborate any further, or I'll just keep it to myself. Of course, Scarlett goes on to say, I understand, I'm sorry, I wish I knew how to act better in the voice chat to make sure you feel included. I care about you, and I still want you to tell me things. So a little bit of kind of a disagreement going on here. Scarlett says, I'm sorry, Aster, I keep making you feel this way. Of course, this was kind of in a future date. Aster said, I mean, is that it? Am I supposed to be oh, no problem, and then just go about my day? I want you to legitimately understand how I'm feeling and me hoping for some form change. But if that's not the case, I shouldn't even have said anything in the first place. Maybe I should just treat all of this as a job and not connect with anybody, because why bother, right? Of course, Aster says, am I not going to get a response to this? Just really pushing and poking. And I'm being ignored for saying how I feel. I'll make sure not to be too personal again and just tell you or anyone what's bothering me. I'm here, I'm available, but don't tell me how to respond when you don't respond back, please. And he said, seriously, Elo, you're purposely ignoring me. So we're really just pushing and poking. And to me, it's kind of looking at the context. What I'm gathering from it is Aster and Scarlett had a little bit of a disagreement. Scarlett is feeling kind of uncomfortable and doesn't want to interact with him anymore. We've kind of seen this happen. But again, this was back in February, chat. Yeah, it feels a little intimidating, but I think that maybe she was like, yeah, I just kind of want to step away from all of this, feeling uncomfortable, stuff like that. I mean, Zelda and Isabel.
2. Scarlett apologizing
Of
profusely
course,
to
we remember
Aster,
this
and
back in
Aster
February chat.
replying, I mean, is that it? Am I supposed to be like, oh, no problem, and just go about my day? Following that up later with, am I not going to get a response to this? And lastly, seriously, LOL, so you're purposely ignoring me. Upon the release of that screenshot online, Aster Arcadia and Scarlet Uniguni then holding an impromptu stream together. This stream having prior not appeared on either of their schedules, and later the talents of Nijisanji English sharing heart emoji tweets with one another. This all happening at the same time that Raziel Warmonic had taken to Twitter to talk about her time as a moderator for Nijisanji English.
So at the time, chat, we kind of saw that and we were like, okay, well, I guess they kind of like resolved it. We don't know. We're just going to assume that everything's good and we're going to kind of move on. But, we kind of shelved it for, in the back of our minds, right? And of course, chat, there was this huge debacle between Luca and Raz here because Raz had come out. Raz was a moderator that had helped Luca with a ton of stuff, released this whole big document, which is on my channel, by the way, a huge big document that we went through, talking about their experience with Luca. And this definitely painted Luca in a very, very negative light. Ultimately, Nijisanji did silence Raz about all of this, but I'll kind of let False continue to explain it.
Raziel stating she was not aware of where that particular screenshot had come from. Raziel later into the next month then releasing a document regarding Luca Kaneshiro, but also addressing the subject of Aster Arcadia harassing other co-workers, stating, I can confirm that Luca said that multiple girls were coming to him about the issue since management wouldn't do anything, and he discussed it with both Elara and I. This being another talent with the Nijisanji, that being Elara Pandora. Raziel continuing, I personally told him to gather as much evidence as possible since it shouldn't be there, that being Luca's and Elira's job, to regulate this issue. To my understanding, nothing was done about it. Raziel then including this screenshot from a direct message saying another Nijisanji liver confirmed by DM the Aster allegations after this had been made public. 2 months later, a law firm representing the parent company of Nijisanji English, that being Any Color Incorporated, sending a cease and desist notice to Raziel and stating,
that is right, chat. So Raz came out with this document. There was that screenshot. We were kind of like, what incident? What is this? The last speculation, right? Then, of course, Any Color creates not only a new whistleblower policy, but they send Raz a cease and desist to no longer talk about this stuff, so on and so forth. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy back in February.
Any Color takes its responsibility toward employees and those it manages and treats any allegations of misconduct seriously. It reacts appropriately to any allegations brought to its attention, including via personal consultations with its human resources and or legal representatives, and since April 12th of 2024, that date being after the release of Raziel Warmonic's document on Luca Kaneshiro, through its quote-unquote internal whistleblowing policy for life.
I don't think that there's anything they can technically enforce in their whistleblower policy. I think that's more of a legal mindset question, but I don't think there's much they can enforce. When I had looked at it before, it just kind of felt like words on paper.
This apparently being a new policy within Any Color regarding policy around whistleblowing. And now for the first time ever, TVS is presenting those direct messages to Raziel from this other Nijisanji English liver, saying,
so again, chat, now we're getting into it here. These are messages that we really have not seen before, right? This is exclusive to FalseEyeD putting this information out. And this is why it's such a big deal, because this adds so much more context, so much more information to that one screenshot that we got from Raz's document. And it actually, like all things on the Vtuber review chat, it gets worse. So let's continue to watch.
Saying to Raziel at the time, thank you for your message. I've known about you and I'm happy you finally told the truth. Please do not worry or be afraid legally what they can do to you. The truth is,
yeah, exactly, Belly.
Don't let them silence you or scare you into silence, as they've done to so many. The person in question has done a lot of bad things, not just to you, so thank you for sharing your experience. This Nijisanji English liver then clarifying to help you with clarity, I remember that incident, it was Aster, and adding, a lot of people waited for you to tell the truth for a while because it had been an issue, so I'm happy you finally did. Do not worry about those that are sending hate. This truth in the long run will help so many people. And
so when this was going down, chat, like, I kind of remember where the focus being about Luca and less so about Aster. I mean, people were kind of wondering about Aster, right? Like, that was always like a thing. And I think Aster got a little bit of heat but it was mostly directed at Lucas. So at least in my perception, how people reacted to this, it got so focused on Luca, everybody kind of forgot about that one screenshot about Aster, and that's my perception. It might have felt different overall, but that's kind of at least what I saw when I kind of saw this go down.
Now here we are months later. Aster Arcadia still fully employed with Nijisanji English, as more documents have been making their rounds regarding accusations against Aster Arcadia. One individual reaching directly out to TVS, proving they had been in direct contact with a Nijisanji English liver that was different from the one that was speaking to Raziel earlier in the year. This individual forwarding on not just communications between them and the Nijisanji English liver, but further proof in regards to the validity of these communications, including providing evidence that they and the Nijisanji English liver were mutuals on Twitter, then linking their alternate Discord account and alternate Discord server, further providing evidence of their personal Steam account alongside a Throne account they held outside of Nijisanji English. This individual also providing proof of their game accounts which could be verified on the Nijisanji English liver's actual Nijisanji English streams.
That's pretty solid stuff to tie it together, you know what I mean? So that's how I felt mid-face, is like, it really felt like a lot of stuff, people lost sight of Aster for a bit. But here you go, Chad. I mean, there is the tie into this. So yeah, that's a lot of receipts. I mean, that's a lot of receipts to try to deny, you know what I mean? I don't know how you're going to deny that one. Anyway, chat, let's take a look at these screenshots. And again, it's pretty damning, chat. It's pretty damning. Let's take a look at it.
One section between this individual and the Nijisanji English liver reading, when I had a mental breakdown and went to Twitch, it was because Aster was saying, like, he wants to fly me out to Japan, saying weird actual S. X-pesting my friends. I went to management. They wouldn't even speak to him. I was really considering graduating. And of course, meaning that they were considering leaving the company of Nijisanji English. This Nijisanji English liver continuing on, but my manager talked me out of it. It feels gross to me, like I feel like I am hiding his behavior. Because it's not just me, it's many, many girls, a lot of my friends.
So chat, again, the manager has talked this individual out of leaving the company because they're telling them, hey, you know, Aster's doing this stuff to me. It's not okay. And they're still like, oh no, stay. It's okay. But it does feel like, unfortunately, they're trying to protect Nijisanji's image, right? They're not treating it with the way that it deserves to be treated, because if somebody does that type of stuff in any setting, but especially business setting, HR needs to step in, needs to be treated with a absolute great care. And it also needs to be treated very seriously. And unfortunately, chat, that is not what we're seeing here from Nijisanji.
When being asked why management had not taken action, this Nijisanji English liver then replying, I don't know, but I assume they are scared to fire after what happened, and then citing bad PR, that being bad public relations.
Absolutely,
yeah. This Nijisanji English liver believes that Aster was not reprimanded because Nijisanji English did not want anything like this being made public, even if
we know for 100% fact, chat, that nothing happened to Aster because he's still doing his thing, right, chat? He's still doing his thing. So, like, there was no repercussions for him. Yeah, bad PR, absolutely. I mean, Nijisanji already has enough of it. So they're going to try and do anything they can to protect what little image they have left. But by them covering this up and not treating it the way it deserved to be treated, they just hurt themselves even more, chat. Absolutely crazy.
If Aster was found to be in the wrong. This Nijisanji English liver then finding out these communications had been forwarded to us and then directly reaching out. A call then being set up between us and this Nijisanji English liver. This anonymous Nijisanji English liver then telling us they were considering speaking to us about this subject regarding Aster Arcadia, calling this the fault of the company and the individual, that being Aster. Firstly describing that many Nijisanji English livers within the branch simply stay away from Aster, especially within
That actually kind of tracks, chat. If you ever look into Aster, which this is a part of my research this morning, Aster's not really part of those bigger, like, Nijisanji collabs. I mean, has Aster done collabs? Yes, but it is kind of interesting that that's, like, the one Nijisanji member that seems to always be, like, excluded from certain events or certain collaboration, or a lot of people don't typically collaborate with Aster that's within Nijisanji, right? So that kind of tracks, because it really does seem like people don't want to interact with Aster, and they don't even collaborate collab with them. So it really does. It really kind of comes together. This was not a damned if you do, damned if you don't. They could have done the right thing here, and they chose not to. You know what I mean? Yeah, terminating it would actually be good PR at this point.
Voice chat, either not wanting to be dragged into games or into uncomfortable conversations with this Nijisanji English Liver. This anonymous Nijisanji English Liver then further telling us that they had spoken to one of their friends outside of Nijisanji, and that Aster had been, quote, basically been saying the exact same stuff that had been going on in my calls with him. This anonymous Liver stating this is not okay, saying of their friend that this girl is a very big fan of the company and a very big fan of Aster, remarking that communications between Aster had been inappropriate and further classifying them as uncomfortable. This anonymous Nijisanji English Liver then saying in another call with another girl. The Liver asked if anything weird had happened between them and Aster. This girl confirming the exact same inappropriate discussions had also occurred between them and Aster Arcadia. The anonymous Nijisanji Liver adding, I can assume this is happening to many people as I was told by another girl, this being a third friend, that Aster is doing this to smaller indie VTubers and VTubers within smaller VTuber agencies. And further hearing this from other friends that this Nijisanji English Liver trusts. This anonymous Liver saying that when speaking with the other girls, that before even talking to the other girls about the inappropriate conversations they had with Aster, these other girls would simply repeat the exact same experiences that happened to them. This anonymous Liver initially wanting to
So we are getting proof right here, Chad, that Aster does the same thing. You know, and again, this is all alleged, right? But I don't want my wording to be confused, right? Obviously, false is sharing people's stories, sharing their stuff. So technically, it's still alleged. But it's very, very damning that multiple people are sharing the exact same story. You know what I mean, Chad? That's a really, really bad look.
Aster the benefit of the doubt, thinking maybe they're just not good at communicating and speaking with people, and that he simply did not understand why his behavior was wrong.
The other part of this that sucks, chat, is Nijisanji has never, as far as we know, that Nijisanji has ever stepped in and tried to correct this type of behavior or given them any type of warning. There was no anything in regards to a negative outcome for Aster in this.
This behavior, unfortunately, happening over and over again. The anonymous Nijisanji Liver finding out that he had been talking with numerous other girls, and then stating he would constantly say increasingly weird stuff. One of the conversations between the anonymous Nijisanji Liver and Aster, revolving around Aster asking, quote, what if you were in Japan? What if you were in Japan and I was with you? What if you were in Japan and I was holding your hand? What if you were in Japan and I was hugging you? What if I was in the hotel room with you in Japan? Would you spend the entire day in the hotel room with me in Japan?
Guys, I'm just gonna tell you, as I have guys hit on me all the time, all right? It happens. I'm a VTuber. Guys go, oh, goth girl, big booba. You know, like, it happens, right? But hearing that, right, as a female, that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. That, like, for me, that's kind of like, I'm not feeling that one, guys. I'm not feeling that. Yeah, it's a little creepy to me. So, and that's just me. Everybody might feel different about it, but for me, that gives me you vibes big time.
Aster Arcadia telling this Nijisanji English Liver, quote, oh, I bet you're so cute. Not your model. I bet you're really cute IRL. The anonymous Nijisanji English Liver finding this behavior weird and uncomfortable. And upon Aster seemed to have gone even further with the friend, saying to them, quote, your body is so sexy, and expressing how they wanted to fly her out to Japan for inappropriate purposes. Another friend of this anonymous Liver.
That is very extreme too. I'm just gonna say to want to sleep with somebody, to fly them to Japan, that's pretty wild. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Look, I understand that there is consensual flirting, guys. There is consensual stuff, right? Like somebody might have been okay with that, but for this Liver to say I was uncomfortable with this, I didn't really like this stuff, and then to share that message on top of everything, you know, it really comes across that Aster is a sex pest, you know?
Liver had been visiting the area around which Aster lives, Aster later becoming upset because this friend did not want to meet up with him. Aster even offering this friend to fly this girl out to Japan, totaling 3 different girls that Aster Arcadia was attempting to fly out to Japan.
To me, Chad, that is the absolute pattern. That is inexcusable, and that's a little creepy, man. That is the absolute pattern, chat. That's the absolute pattern.
Man, One of the friends of the anonymous Nijisanji Liver not wanting to come forward with this information even after talking about all of this with the anonymous Nijisanji Liver because she is, quote, a huge fan of Nijisanji and Aster and blames herself for what had occurred.
That's really sad, chat, that one of the anonymous people that's, involved with this, they still are tied to this person and they feel really bad about everything. And they shouldn't, because again, guys, they're victims. They're not, they didn't do anything wrong. And I feel really bad for that person, that my heart really goes out to them. This is an important piece to the puzzle. I think that if we put False and Rima and Salvi's stuff together into one big thing, it paints a very bleak picture of Nijisanji and certain livers being caught in a bad situation where they feel like they're not making positive steps forward. And then also this on top of it being surrounded by, questionable at best co-workers is pretty damning.
Anonymous Liver stating at this point that in their opinion, that as a person, Aster is very, very manipulative and that he had been taking advantage of his status alongside the fact that a lot of people had been looking up to him, and then remarking that these girls simply did not know how to reply and simply went along with it. This anonymous Liver continuing to say, I can't see a world in which you invite a random girl that you just met to Japan, and that could mean
and not
anything,
want to sleep with her,
but for actual purposes.
100% chat. 100%. Nobody flies somebody out. Nobody flies somebody out for any other reason than to sleep with them, chat. There were definitely no other intentions involved with that, chat. It is 100% sexual. I can tell you. 100% I can tell you that. As somebody who had somebody offer to fly me places, to, drive me places, all kinds of stuff, it is 100% for that reason. I can tell you that. 1 bajillion percent.
Nijisanji English Liver continuing, saying that their silence felt that they were letting their friends down, and even blaming themselves at this point during our conversation, stating, I had introduced Aster into our friend group to play games, and this had obviously hurt friends very much, them being really, really big fans and souring their experience and opinions. This Nijisanji English Liver also stating that Nijisanji English management had not taken any action, saying, quote, we don't want him to retaliate, so we won't want to tell him that you spoke with us. Once again,
and again, chat, they're so scared to speak out because of the retaliation. You know what I mean, chat? Like, that's just such a up situation, That's so messed up.
Once again, that admission coming from an anonymous Nijisanji Liver that Nijisanji English management had refused to take any action regarding their own talent, Aster Arcadia. The accusations this Nijisanji English talent bringing to them that Aster had been harassing others even outside of the company. And the Nijisanji English Liver seeing this in action on the part of the company being damaging and dangerous to the VTuber spirit itself.
That is such a good point, guys. So think about this. Remember, Aster has gone after multiple Nijisanji Livers who are anonymous, right? They've also gone after indie, smaller VTuber agency people. We have at least 3 people confirmed by False's testimonies here that they are wanting to be flown out. We know this is something sexual, right? We know this is something sexual. We can confirm that 100%. So for the fact that this is going on, right? For a large VTuber to do this stuff in the sphere of VTubing, would you feel safe knowing that they are around and nobody did anything about it? Yes or no, chat? Would you feel safe? Yes or no? Hell no. Exactly. No, of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. And so that's why it's important that this is called out. You know what I mean?
So, this anonymous Nijisanji English Liver also remarking on this screenshot that had made its rounds earlier in the year, saying that they had originally assumed that the images were fake, but upon speaking further with Aster, realizing this is just how he talks, that he is manipulative, aggressive, and that he had sent them a similar message.
So chat, that's kind of crazy that this is confirmed to be real. Because again, chat, we were not sure. A lot of people were kind of, maybe saying it was fake. A lot of people were kind of like, maybe, what's going on? Weren't sure or what was going on, right? The fact that this is confirmed is actually crazy. Yeah, I mean, just like kind of being rude, like I'm not going to get a response and I'm being ignored. Just very like forward and aggressive, you know what I mean?
That he is manipulative, aggressive, and that he had sent them a similar message. That message being seen here, being forwarded from the Nijisanji English Liver to us here at TBS.
So let's take a look at this message chat. I'll read it for you. I'll be honest, that wasn't just misunderstanding. That was taking what I said and turning it up to 100 and digging at me the entire match. I already know you do something like that if I jungled, but not to that level. I generally feel like you're being purposely toxic at me for not doing what you wanted in the game, almost as if I was dealing with a random solo queue player. I'm gonna assume this is about League of Legends. Making a joke about the jungling thing once or twice is fine. It's a joke after all, but the entire time, and to the point of even yelling at me and arguing with me, this is taking a step too far, and I was really trying to hold in my anger. I even should have told you in a serious tone, in front of everybody, that I do not want to be verbally abused again, so stop it. When I tried to keep giving hints for you to tone it down, you kept going. Again, I don't know what this is about exactly, but anyway, this is extremely unacceptable and actually makes me want to avoid even doing anything with you. If I'm being honest, I will not stand to be verbally abused like that on stream ever again. It's weird because you never acted like that to me off stream, but the moment on stream, it's a switch of flip. I don't mind teasing banter, but that level is unnecessary. I do enjoy hanging out with you in gaming, but I do not want to be verbally abused by whom I consider a friend. Can something improve here, or is this going to be a continued issue? And again, chat, I don't know if this is actually something that this liver genuinely did something bad, or if this is Aster's kind of like, ego stepping into it. I don't know. This is obviously a personal disagreement going on here, so don't want to speculate too much. What I do believe is this actually kind of confirms their actions and the way they talk to a bunch of other people. So that's what I want you to take away from this chat.
You're saying to the anonymous liver, this S is extremely unacceptable and actually makes me want to avoid even doing anything with you if I'm being honest. Asking the liver, can something improve here, or is this going to be a continued issue? The Nijisanji English liver then apologizing to Aster, much in the same way that had occurred before between Scarlet and Aster. Aster then following that up, saying, it's fine now since you understand and apologize, and I know you would never intentionally hurt me. So once again, in review, Aster Arcadia now being accused by multiple Nijisanji English livers of inappropriate behavior both within and outside the company. That is now.
I think that because Aster is doing this stuff outside of the company as well, which again, just to reiterate, it's not okay for it to happen within the company, right? But for the fact that it's happened outside of the company as well, I feel the pressure on Nijisanji is amped up quite a bit because they can't just keep it internal anymore, you know, and it can't be like oh, hush, hush, like, oh no, we'll deal with this, sweep it under the rug. This has happened to multiple livers outside of the company as well, chat, so it's a very, very big deal.
In review, Aster Arcadia now being accused by multiple Nijisanji English livers of inappropriate behavior both within and outside of the company. That is now over the past week, and numerous individuals have been expecting Nijisanji English to take some form of public action to reprimand Aster Arcadia in some fashion. And that is all for this short but highly important and pointed episode. Once again,
the chat again, a lot of these people that are coming out with this information are expecting Nijisanji to do something. They have not done something, and so now they're going to false revealing this information in hopes that Nijisanji will actually take this issue seriously and do something about it. False dropped an absolute bombshell on not only Niji, but the Vtuber community as a whole, chat. I mean, this is a big deal. I told you it was a big deal. I'm very glad that they ended up, saying something because nobody deserves to be treated by it like this. It's really sad that Nijisanji is just not able to treat the situation as it deserves. And it's really sad that they're even having to go to these lengths to have something done about it, right, guys? I think that's what's most depressing about this whole situation. The fact that you're having to go, all the way to false outside just to get some type of response. I mean, that's just horrible. The fact that you can't get your HR managers or anybody else to fix this situation is just beyond deplorable. Now, ultimately, I think Aster's views would drop. It would hurt them financially. There would obviously be repercussions of it from a public standpoint, right? From the public social judicial system, we'll say, right? In the public eye, he would be absolutely damned. But I think for Nijisanji, they have to make the right choice here, Am I hopeful about it? No. Looking at what's happened before, but we will certainly see, chat.